In Portland, they're still blocking traffic and breaking things and screaming at old ladies in wheelchairs. Apparently, they don't get the Washington Post in Oregon. Watch. Don't believe your lying eyes. Now, some reports, there haven't been many reports, but some describe the protesters you just watched as Antifa. Others say they're Black Lives Matter. It doesn't matter. What you're actually looking at is the youth wing of the Democratic Party. These are their shock troops. Listen to Maxine Waters and Cory Booker call them to arms.
Go to the Hill today. Get up and please get up in the face of some Congress people.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Go get them. Get in their face. Well, they obeyed. The left always obeys. Obedience is the whole point of their program.
If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace. Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! We believe survivors!
Sexist, racist, anti-gay!
We believe survivors! We believe survivors!
Well, thanks to incidents like the one you just saw, the ones the Washington Post assures you aren't real, didn't really happen, and you have no right to be worried about, normal people across the country, nevertheless, are becoming concerned. Now, that's racist, says the Post, because, of course, being yelled at by rich white kids and not liking it is racist. But nevertheless, Kelly Paul, wife of Senator Rand Paul, says that she's so concerned by what's happening that she keeps a loaded gun by her bed. Watch.
So many, frankly, unhinged people and unstable people out there. And when they hear someone on their side telling them, get up in their face, they take that literally. And they think that that gives them a license to be very aggressive, be harassing. It does scare me that there is going to be somebody that is really unstable that takes that message a step further. We've updated all of our security systems at home. I sleep with a loaded gun by my bed. I've always felt very safe. We used to never even lock our doors. And now that has all changed.
Well, the Washington Post might call Mrs. Paul paranoid. On the other hand, many on the left openly celebrated when her husband wound up in the hospital after being assaulted by an angry liberal.
My husband had 6 broken ribs and was violently assaulted, was seriously, seriously injured. And to have people like Cher and Bette Midler laughing on the internet and lauding his attacker, it's like, well, what kind of person are you that you think that is acceptable?
Well, that's a fair question. And the video we just showed you is real video. We didn't make it up in the basement to scare you or to win a midterm. Assessing everything you've seen over the past year, you might be tempted to conclude that just maybe there is a growing problem with left-wing mob violence. But left-wing leaders and their propagandists in the press have concluded, you'll be surprised to learn, the exact opposite. Faced with one left-wing riot after another, they have decided the problem is actually you. You're the problem, sitting at home. You're dangerous. In the New York Times this morning, Paul Krugman accused the Republican Party of harboring authoritarian impulses. Apparently, Republicans have been chasing prominent Democrats out of restaurants recently and banging on cars. Oh, wait. There's that projection thing again. Hillary Clinton is so worried, though, about how dangerous the Republican Party has become, those angry Mormon grandmothers in black bandanas you're seeing in downtown Portland, smashing windows, that she no longer considers Republicans Americans or even fully human. According to Hillary Clinton, you no longer have to be civil to Republicans. You can do whatever you want to them because they deserve it.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about. That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and/or the Senate, that's when civility can start again.
Yeah, when we win, civility can return. So there you have it, the perfect distillation. There's the most recent Democratic presidential candidate, the leader of her party by default, endorsing viciousness openly against her political opponents. And yet, according to the Washington Post, a newspaper, this is what Republican extremism looks like. And you'd have to be crazy not to see it. Andy No lives in Portland, Oregon. He's a journalist at Quillette. He's been following this very closely, and he joins us tonight. So, Andy, we played a bunch of videos, some of which you publicized, of what's happening in the streets of Portland. I don't even know what your politics are, but were those, I just want to be clear, were those right-wing protesters, were those Republicans in the streets of Portland?
They were not.
They were not. Who were they, and what was the point of this, and how much coverage did it get in Portland, and did any civic or political leaders in Portland raise any kind of outcry about this, the violence?
Some of the footage you showed was recorded over the weekend on Saturday by Brandon Farley, and that was a protest organized by Don't Shoot Portland, which is a Black Lives Matter type of group. They were protesting the police-involved shooting of a man who is suspected of shooting 2 people. The police here take a pretty hands-off approach much of the time with protesters, and what you saw on Saturday in the video is that demonstrators were allowed to take over a street in downtown Portland and direct traffic and threaten drivers, stop traffic, while the police looked on from a block away because they were afraid of inflaming the situation.
Did Democratic political leaders in Portland denounce the violence?
Not as far as I know. I mean, I know the story right now is being framed in a pretty partisan way in your show, but the facts of the matter on hand is that the Portland mayor, Ted Wheeler, also doubles as a police commissioner. And while I'm not privy to some of the internal conversations that he may have with the police department here, just based on other events that have happened in the past, I would say there's sort of a dereliction of duty of upholding the rule of law.
One might be tempted to come to that conclusion. The Washington Post doesn't agree, but I do. Thank you very much, Andy. Good to see you. Thank you for putting that online.
My pleasure.